Today's subject is going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be outstanding. Here we go. We're going to talk about growth that will produce increase, profitability, and angelic activity. I know angelic activity sounds strange, but when you deal with God, you're dealing with his resources, and God has resources of angels. And we know that from the Bible. But we're gonna get right into how to grow and how to grow into profitability and increase. Growth that demands that increase happens is extremely important. Listen to what Earl Nightingale said. A major key to success is to do certain things in a certain way every day that will lead you to the goal that you are striving to achieve. That's important. We're going to come back to another session on certain things a certain way. But I like the idea that he says it's a major key to success is to do certain things in a certain way every day. Every day. Every day is the way you grow. Every day is the way you achieve. Every day is the way you're going to accomplish. Most people that are looking for success, they're looking for success to be quick and immediate. I want you to know success comes as a growth over an everyday process. There's a book that's out, and there's several books that bring out this concept of 1% better every day. If you become 1% better every day, think about that. Just 1%, just a little bit every day, working towards a goal, working towards an achievement, becoming 1% better every day. Same thing Earl Nightingale said. There's a little statistic here, there's little numbers that go with it. By the end of the year, you'll be 37% better. 37% better by the end of the year, just 1% better every day. You'll grow in 30%. So the arc on that is huge. It just is a huge arc. 37% better. Can you imagine growing and becoming 30% better, 37% better at something? I want to be 30% better, 37% better. I want that in my life. I want that. For a season in my life, I've given myself this kind of everyday growth. Everyday growth. And I want to give myself, I'm going to give you some of the things that I've done to make sure that I grow every single day. Number two, if you choose to decrease, to become decrease 1% every day, your diminishing or decrease will not be at the level of your growth, which tells me that we're designed to grow and not designed to die off. We're designed to increase. And that if you're going to make efforts to die off, you're not going to be completely successful. They say that by the end of this 1 year, you're going to be at you're going to be at 0.03 in your negative decrease. That's nothing compared to the 37.78% increase in your 1%. So getting 1% negative, 1% worse every day, or getting 1% better every day, 1% is a big change. Now, when you first start that 1%, today I'm going to decide to just become worse. I'm going to be bad. I'm going to just, that 1%, when I decide on the first stage, first day, first week, there's not much change. There's not much difference. You can't tell that I'm actually on a road of decrease because it's not that much of a margin. But it's when we get 2 weeks out and 3 weeks out, a month out and 2 months out, we start to see the divide, that swelling up of that person who's giving themselves to increasing every day, 1%, and that person who's giving themselves to decreasing every day, 1%. It starts to create a greater division the further out. So don't think that just getting away with doing something negative today and something negative again, it's going to look like it's not going to affect you. But if you keep that stringing out over a period of time, it's going to bring great effect. It's gonna be horrible. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you're giving yourself to just this little bit of change every single day. Now, I did a research a while ago on an airline called Ryanair. Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary. Michael O'Leary, he had this very just kind of rough demeanor, created this kind of rough environment, and one of his thoughts that they posted is in because he's super controversial. is we don't want to hear about your sob stories. This is an airline. We don't want to hear about your sob stories. We don't want to hear about any of your challenges. What is hard to understand about no refunds? I want you to know that guy, his idea was we do it the way we do it, and we don't care if you like it or not. Well, they were the worst airline year after year, and they decided to do something different. They decided to change it. And so what they did, Ryanair in 2017, what they did is their stock jumped from 7 billion to over 17 billion by just deciding they're going to be a little bit better every day. Every day they're going to be a little bit better every day, making that decision. So in the passenger volume exploded to 106 million people per year. You have to understand, just becoming a little bit better every day will change the way you do business completely. If you can get your staff to become a little bit better every day, if you can have them learn a little bit more every day, grow towards being a better server, customer server, grow towards being more excellent in what they do, grow towards being more creative, more independent in their thinking. If you can just become a little bit better every day, encourage that, your business will jump, just like Ryanair. Ryanair had a leader that didn't care. His whole motto was, we don't care, we're not white. But they got competitively, they were losing because they were not trying. They were getting worse every day, not better every day. I don't think that you can stay neutral every day. I think you have to make a decision. You're going to either get better every day or you're going to get worse every day. But there's no such thing as being neutral. Gravity is going to pull you down, or you have to fight gravity with all the energy. And I think that energy that you put in fighting gravity will give you that compounded growth that's necessary to go from one level to another level. I need you to think about this. Think about this. What are you doing in your life that's sabotaging your growth because you're not getting better there every day? I want you to write that down. Whatever it is that you're doing to sabotage your life because you're not focusing on intentionally growing and adding 1% there, adding 1 degree. 1 degree is a very important thing, knowing that you can change just by 1 degree. If you want to boil a frog, what did they say? Remember, boiling frog, I know it's a human rights thing. You don't want to do it. But if they were to boil a frog, you can't turn it up completely to 100 degrees, or drop them into 100-degree water, or 150-degree water. They will jump out immediately. The way you do it is you put them in water that they're comfortable with, and you slowly, by a degree, raise the temperature, and they will never know that things had changed. I want you to know you can do the same thing. Raise the temperature on your life. Turn the degree up. A lot of people use that in a negative way. Oh, they've been changing. Society's been changing and changing. You're now normalized to what's going on. But you can also normalize to high levels of success and high levels of achievement by just changing the degree. Well, you don't know Tracy Armstrong. I grew up in a family. We are not go-getters. We've never done anything successful. Can I tell you, you can change that temperature by changing it just by 1 degree. You're going to increase, you're going to become someone who is successful because you're just keeping that simple focus, as someone's writing in the chat right now. I want you to understand, changing it by the degree, 1 degree. If you change it by 1 degree, you'll find incredible increase within a year. 37% increase by changing 1 degree. And you will become accustomed to that change. You will become accustomed to that change. When I first started in my life, and I made this statement, and in my 20s, I made this statement. I wonder what it's like to be. It was actually, I would think I was 19. Wonder what it's like to be a go-getter. And I wonder what it's like to be a go-getter, made me think. And then what I had to do is just change that temperature in my life a little bit. What did I do? I started reading books on real estate. I went to real estate courses. Everything was no money down real estate purchases. All these things. I went to Robert Kiyosaki before he was Robert Kiyosaki. No, I did. But I went to all of these. I went to all of these people, these different seminars, and in real estate, and teaching on sales and negotiations. I did all of those things, just sitting there, had no money, and they said, go and write, you have no money, but go and learn how to write contracts, get into deals deals and learn how to write escape clauses. And so I was writing up huge deals, 18, 19 years old, had no idea how I was going to get the money. Yeah, my investor partners. Okay, yeah, and then I'm just writing up these big old deals, and then I have so many clauses in it that I jump out in because I was learning to be in. I was getting used to the climate of talking about big money, and I was, I just before that probably just wanted enough money for Bubblicious and maybe some other a baggie of something. But now I had to get into a situation where I had to think bigger money, bigger things. Yes, and Snicker bars. Yes, that's all I wanted. The fact is we need to be in a position where we're willing to grow. And you have to just dial yourself in. So you're going to have to sometimes change your environment, sometimes change the people you're talking to, you're walking with, you're hanging out with, the things that you're reading. Give yourself to some of those things. Before I give you a few of these thoughts of exactly what you need to do in order to posture yourself in this, I want to read a scripture. The Bible is given this dialogue from God to the children of Israel, and they're talking through. Moses is delivering this word, the word of the Lord, and in God speaking to Moses about it as well. And he says, Moses, you're going to go into this situation where the angel of the Lord is going to go before you. When the angel of the Lord goes before you, don't make him mad. Don't frustrate him. He's going to go in and he's going to give you the land that I've prepared for you, but it's going to come to you little by little. I want you to see this. I want to give you the reference. The whole reference is there. Great reading if you can go back to it. But I want you to see this because there's so much meat in this idea according to the Bible. The Bible has always been a 1%er. The Bible's always been a one degree. Just that little bit of change. That little bit of change will give you the whole land if you don't quit. Look what it says. Exodus 23:30 says, little by little I will drive them out from before you until you have increased and you inherit the land. Now, this is incredible scripture because it tells me that I shouldn't be discouraged with little by little. I should know that the land is being delivered to me because there's an angel going in front of me and making the way clear for me. I want you to know sometimes we're frustrated because we're not willing to work with what God has given us in our lives. It doesn't mean that God is not making more way for us, but let me help you understand something. That the angel that God is sending before you to help you prosper is going to prosper you in the way according to where you've made provision for. When you make provision for him to go forward and to go forward, little by little is a provision making. Angels can only bring to you what you are prepared for. And so when you're prepared for it, then they'll open up that door. So they're going to go. And look what it says. I will drive them out. This is talking about all the enemies, all the challenges, all the pain, and all the problems. They're designed to be driven out. That's why they're there. But they're there as a holding place so that you can grow into the one that can hold the capacity of what you're going to grow into. So if you are going to be the person who is a millionaire, you have you're going to be tens to hundreds of millions of dollars in your life. In your maybe annually you're growing into that, then you have to understand your capacity to hold that position is extremely important. Not only just becoming a millionaire or 100 millionaire or 10 millionaire, not just becoming, but holding that position is a capacity issue. And part of little by little is growing in the capacity to hold what you're progressing into. And so the angel of the Lord is going to go in front of you as you have been preparing to be a 100 millionaire or a millionaire or a billionaire, whatever it is, but you have to go little by little because little by little is what you can maintain. God will never give you what you can't maintain. He wants to give you what you can't, what you can grow into, what you can develop. He's not a person who wastes things. And so you have to understand, he wants to get you into positions that you have grown into, and he's prepared an advocate for you. He's prepared a waymaker for you. He's prepared someone, an angel that will go before you. Sometimes that angel is an actual person that will make way for you. Sometimes that angel is the spiritual dynamic, and I believe there's a spiritual dynamic of resources from above, from heaven, that will actually make way for you, that will create favorable opportunities for you moving forward. The word prosperity means advancement. I believe that God has sent us angels of advancement. What does that mean? angels of prosperity, angels that will prosper you as you go forward. But the way you work with them and the way you don't make them mad is by little, going into it little by little. Doesn't mean you don't do big things, you don't dream of big things, but you should know everything that you do in dreaming that it's big, you have little processes, little steps towards it. And if you ever think you're going to bite that elephant completely off, you're going to be a mouthful of pain. You need to know that there's something coming your way and you've got to prepare for it little by little. The other thing this tells me is sometimes you're not the problem. Sometimes it's the thing that's in front of you that's being cleared out of the way that's been holding you back, and that's getting things are getting moved out of the way so that you can be ready for your next level. I want you to be encouraged that little by little I will drive them out. If there's something in front of you, if there's a hindrance in front of you, if there's a problem in front of you, if you focus on increasing little by little, then you will activate the angel of driving things out. You'll activate God to help you move things out of your way. If there's little by little in your activity, you're going to create for you opportunity. We were talking to one of the influencers online with us today about how their TikTok and their reels and how that's working. Again, the reason they're doing it is not just to be someone who is seen, but they are a message carrier. They're someone who's got a message, and they have a different platform that they're building, a podcast platform. So the goal is that they're using these other reels, the reels, these things, as an opportunity of marketing, of branding, of getting the word out, and it's adding little by little. And as it's adding little by little, remember, it's going to increase over a year. It's going to increase over a period of time. It may be 2, it may be 3, it may be 4, but next month is 10, and the next month is 20, and the next month is 30, and then it increases, it compounds, just like compounding interest in anything. You're giving your efforts to little by little, and little by little will give you the increase over time. So think about this. You have time. You have time. Time is going to keep on ticking, ticking, ticking into the future. So make sure that you're doing the right things, the certain things every day to get the certain activity or the certain response that you want every day, and then you'll achieve the success that you want. Earl Nightingale said it so much better than I did, but the realization is we can get there every single day by doing something every day. Now, as you go closer to this, now let me give you a couple of thoughts here. You have to decide to grow. Decide, make a decision. Then when you make the decision, he says, little by little, I will drive them out from before you until you have increased. So the little by little activates the thing that's driving out in front of you, is moving things out in front of you. I like being the person that goes ahead. I do. I'm a pioneer. I like to pioneer stuff. I'm better at pioneering than I am establishing. I'm learning that I need to, as a pioneer, have to have incredible executors with me because I love the pioneer and I love the pioneer fast. And then we can build a system and a process to establish it. I love it. But I need to grow in areas. Everyone's growing in areas. If you're not growing in some area, then you're decreasing in an area. Remember that. So we're going to continue to grow. Decide to grow. And because that decision, a little by little, is the power of increase. Then you will increase until you have increased and you inherit the land. So this is important. So if you want to inherit something big, you want to inherit the land. We're looking at these land deals. We're looking at these other things. Well, if you want to inherit the land, little by little, until you increased, until you inherit the land, you're going to capture it all. Everything you want is going to come, but it starts with this 1%, this 1%, this little by little, getting better every day. Make a decision to get better every day. Now, this is the first thing I want you to determine. When you're making the decision to get better every day, determine this. First of all, set a time to grow. What time of the day do you grow? What time of the day are you committed to growth? What is it in the morning? Are you committed to growth? Is it in the evening? Is it in the evening that you're committed to grow? Is it in the afternoon you're committed to grow? Do you have a set time throughout the day that you decide this is my growth time. I'm growing right now. That's important that you choose that. It's great to grow all day. I mean, I listen to podcasts, I listen to books. I'm reading. I'm constantly taking in evaluations of things. I'm growing constantly, but that may not be my set time to grow. I'd like to have a set time to grow. And I want to encourage you, whether it's your morning time with God or your morning time with your book, whatever it is, set that time to grow. And when you set that time to grow, it is extremely important that you know what it's all about. I'm here to grow. I'm not here to do anything else. I'm here and I'm growing. Do you know how confident that's going to make you when you make a decision? I'm growing right now. I'm growing right now. And give yourself to those opportunities to grow. Determine who, what, where, and when, and how you want to grow. Now, if you're growing crazy like a wild bush, if you're growing wild, it's because you haven't determined who, what, where, when, why am I growing, and how am I growing? When you determine those things, then you determine the fact that growth is intentional. Growth is not accidental. If you want to get out of poverty, grow out of poverty. If you want to get out of foolishness, grow out of foolishness. If you want to get out of anything that you're dealing with, choose to grow out of it. Don't just think it's going to habit out of it. There's no habits without growth. Growth is a decision, and habits are made in that moment of decision when you make that decision every single day over and over. When you look at a plane, 1 degree mistake in flying is a massive decision. So that precision is important, that when you're making this decision, be very precise. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. If I'm flying and I'm setting that trajectory where I'm headed, I'm setting the heading. If that heading moves at all a little bit, even though it says I'm headed a certain way, that heading needs just I need to make sure I'm looking at my instruments to make sure that heading stays there, because the wind comes. One of the things I found when I'm flying, the wind comes and I have a trajectory. I'm looking at it very visually, but the wind is moving me over just a little bit. I'm losing my course. And so I have to actually adjust myself in that wind, and I have to what they call crab into the wind to make sure I hold my pattern, so that I make sure I hold my heading. 1 degree off. If I move off that 1 degree and it's going to take me off course, I'm going to end up in Hawaii when I'm trying to get to Alaska. And that may not be a bad thing. But you want to know that 1 degree, that one little movement, not one little movement is a massive thing. 1 degree off will end up in my destination. I'll be 92 feet difference in my destination, just 1 degree off. And it will take me into a thing that completely out of the range that I want to be in. So if you're in a position where you're saying, I'm not where I want to be, 1 degree was off somewhere in the past, and now you've got to make up the difference, and you've got to get back on course. You got to correct your course, as we hear and we see in our chat here. So I want you to know this, understand. Growth causes separation. This is the next thing you want to understand. Growth causes separation. You want to separate yourself from the pack. You want to separate yourself from other people. You want to be someone that's completely different. Everyone's doing a reel. Everyone's doing a TikTok. Everyone's doing a video. Everyone's doing that. Well, what's going to separate you? Your ability to grow. Is your video the same this year as it was last year? Or are your videos becoming better? Are you more articulate this year? Are you more precise with what you want to say? Are you consistent with it? When you choose to separate yourself, it's because you're growing. You may start in the pack, but you're going to actually separate yourself from the pack because you give yourself to growth. Give yourself to growth because it causes separation. You're going to find out something about you that others are not talking about. I talk about wealth. Yes, I talk about biblical wealth. There's lots of people that are doing that. I talk about spirituality with your biblical wealth, meaning angels. I may talk about portals. Who knows? Who knows but I'm going to talk about spirituality, the realm of the spirit. Now, I don't do that all the time because there's certain elements in certain places I'm in, and it contextualize. I know I need to speak a certain way, but when I'm talking to you, my YouTube channel here and the influencers, I want you to understand that God's also has favor for you that's not natural, it's spiritual. And so we talk about those things. The next thing you want to talk about, growth causes separation. The first thing is that growth causes separation, number one. And number one, the second thing is growers are different than non-growers, right? Non-growers are people who you know they just choose not to decide. They choose not to go forward, right? So you want to make sure that you are a grower, that you're someone who's given themselves to growing and that are focusing on it. And there's a difference. You're going to separate from non-growers. You're going to find some of the friends and some of the people that you felt comfortable with in the past don't feel comfortable with you, and you don't feel comfortable with them, and you have to be okay with the fact that there's nothing wrong with them and there's nothing wrong with you. The separation came because you are growing and they have chosen not to grow. And that's not something to look down upon them, but it's something for you to continue to give yourself to growth, because when you find yourself leaving one level of non-grower, you find yourself collaborating with another level of grower. And so you want to collaborate with growers. You want to collaborate with growers, people who are moving to their next level. And so you'll find yourself around that. Then I said it several times, in this separation, you'll find people who are just as committed to growth as you. And so stay committed to growth, and it will cause you to separate and be separate from others. I feel like I'm going a little bit longer today, but my clock says I still got a lot of time. Here we go. So here we go. And the next thing, it says growth takes time. Growth takes time. You want to know that growth is not something that's going to happen overnight. You're going to give yourself to time. We get frustrated. We work. We have a January 1 push. I'm losing weight. Man, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get that six-pack abs from this keg, and it's just going to be great. And so we go out and we get the weights and we get everything, and we work out one day. And we're like, woo, let's go look in the mirror. And the mirror image is the same as the mirror image yesterday. With all of that output, with everything you put out, it's still exactly the same. Tomorrow you go out, it's the same thing, but you hurt. It's painful. It's sore. Everything is sore. Get on the scale, look in the mirror. It doesn't look like much has changed, right? But it's the consistency of over the next year, little by little, 1 degree getting better. So my first degree is, man, I did it. My second degree is, I did it again. My third degree, I did it again. Then, right? Just celebrate doing it. In the first aspect, when you don't see any results, just celebrate being consistent. Celebrate showing up. Celebrate taking the time. I paid time today. The effort, the need. I paid time today. I did it. I gave time what it needed. So tomorrow I'm going to give time what it needs. And tomorrow I'm going to give time that time needs this 1 degree. Tomorrow, time is going to need my 1%. And I'm going to spend the next 30 days just paying time my 1%. And you know what? I'm going to celebrate. I'm not going to celebrate results. I'm not going to celebrate any of the weights. I'm not going to sell any of that. I'm going to celebrate the fact that I have given time. What time wants from me is that 1%. And if you do that every day, give yourself that kind of time, you're going to find yourself growing. Growth takes patience. And so when you're working with time and patience are buddies. They always work together. Growth takes patience. So don't forget, you're going to give yourself time, and that part of this patience is just saying, time, I know I'm paying you today. I'm paying time because I'm paying you. Here's my 1%. I'm paying you tomorrow. Here's my 1%. So be patient and know that patience is going to work with you. If not, patience is going to work against you. Patience wants to be paid as well. So time and patience are going to be things that you pay out. Oh, you want, here you go. Time, there you go. There's my 1%. Patience, here's my 1%. You're going to be paying a lot up front, paying attention, right? Give yourself to that. So when you pay out, you're going to pay out for a later delayed gratification. You're going to pay out for delayed gratification. So make sure you're doing that. Then the next thing, and I think I'm going to end on this one. The next thing is reflection and meditation equal insight. We talk a little bit about this when we talk about the ant. Go to the ant, you sluggard. We'll post those at some point. But you have to know that reflection, remembering and thinking about what it felt like and how did it feel when you got up today and you felt like you didn't want to work out, but you made it, you did it. How did that make you feel that you showed up? You showed up. What did they make? Reflect on that you showed up. The next day, I showed up. I'm reflecting on it. That reflection and meditation on it is now going to give me insight. Now I'm doing it. I'm actually becoming a go-getter. For me to become a go-getter was a weird goal, wasn't it? Well, I wonder what it's like to become a go-getter. What does it mean to be a go-getter? For me, it was simply getting out of bed and getting up and going. Seriously. So today I celebrated my get up. I got up. I got up. One of the first books I read was Who Moved My Cheese, right? Move my cheese. Then I got up and I'm going. I'm going to get it, right? I'm going to get it. Well, the fact is you've got to make sure that you're celebrating, and you don't know to celebrate what you should be celebrating until you spend some time in reflection and meditation. You'll also see how easy it was to overcome what used to put you down. You'll see how easy it is to move forward and to be strong and to go for it. I'm going to give you one more because we have one more minute left. Man, I tell you, I love to grow and I love to work with growers because growers are achievers. And if you decide that every single day, 1%, I'm going to grow, 1%, I'm going to achieve, 1%, I'm going to do this, then that is going to change your life. Little by little, the way will be cleared for you. Just make sure that you grow to that point of being able to hold the capacity of what's being cleared for you. Here's the last point, the last thought is need is a part of growing. If you have a need, that need is there for you to grow. The need is not there for you to cry out, to whine, to complain. Needs are there for growth. The reason it hasn't been cleared out by the angel or by people or circumstances is because it is an opportunity for you to grow. And don't look at needs as an opportunity for you to whine, complain, or quit. Needs are opportunities for you to grow. And when you realize that you have a need because you're going to grow into someone who no longer has that need, then you're going to be someone who is changed forever. The more you know that you need to grow. Growth is a need in itself. Growth is a part of our everyday need. We have some challenges going on in the earth right now, and people are trying to decide not to grow. And the fact is that's going to leave a long, big gap in their life when they just decide not to grow. You're going to have to give yourself to growth because it's a part of human nature. It's our need to grow. That's why over a year, we get 37% change with 1 degree increase, and less than 0.03 decrease when we decide not to grow and give ourselves to worse growth. Well, that means we are designed to grow. It's our need, it's our craving to grow. And I want to encourage you to give yourself to this need of growth, become someone that is growing, and then you'll see change. The next part of this need to grow is growing is a need that you must have. The next is our needs force us to grow. So it's a force that's being pushed on you, and it feels unfair sometimes, but fairness has nothing to do with it. I learned from a friend of mine, Rabbi Lapin. He says there is no such word as fair in the Hebrew language. It is a made-up word. It is not a real word. It is a word that we use in order to cause people to feel a certain way about what's happening towards us. When you stop thinking that life needs to be fair and realize that life is giving me what I need to grow instead of giving you what is fair, then you'll start making life pay, increase profitability, and angels will be activated in your life. I want you to like and subscribe to this if you enjoyed today. And we have more videos that come every week. We're here with our influencers that are going on in the Zoom right now. We're going back to that. We're going to talk about some of this, maybe some prosperity portals. Who knows? I have to probably study that one a little bit. But we're gonna step in and talk about something. And I want you to realize that we're here every week for you to grow. Every week for you to grow, to be in this cycle of growing. If you grow, you will prosper, you'll increase, and you'll inherit the land. Don't forget to like, share, and check out some of the other videos that YouTube is going to suggest to you. We'll see you.